300 staff all in. I've got public houses. I've got construction efforts going on building.
$250 million, fam. That's what this man is sitting on right now. And we ain't talking about some trust fund baby or some Silicon Valley tech bro who got lucky off an app. We're talking about a kid who was pulling pipes on a construction site in Dublin, collecting welfare checks, wondering if that dead-end plumber's apprenticeship was all life had in store for him. And somehow, some way, that same kid turned himself into the highest-paid combat athlete in the history of the sport, flipped a whiskey brand for $600 million, and built a business empire so wide it's got the Trump family writing him $23 million checks.
Hello everybody, my name is the notorious Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor, fam, the notorious. And when we say everything he owns, we mean everything. We're talking mansions on 3 continents, a car collection worth north of $15 million, a $4 million Lamborghini yacht that does 70 miles an hour on open water, private jets at $18,000 an hour, a watch collection worth over $4 million that'll make your jeweler weep, and a story behind every single piece that goes all the way back to the council estates of Crumlin, Dublin 12.
I have a broke down banger of a car, and in my head that was a Ferrari.
That's the mentality right there, fam. Broke down banger in the driveway, but a Ferrari in his mind. Now peep this, because what we're about to break down ain't just some flex video. This is the full blueprint of how a plumber's apprentice on welfare went from $188 a week to a $250 million empire before the age of 36. We're going piece by piece, brick by brick. The fights, the businesses, the cribs, the fleet, the yachts, the ice, all of it. Let's get into it. McGregor didn't tiptoe into wealth. He kicked the door clean off the hinges. His fight money alone reads like a rap sheet of paydays. The $100 million purse from the Floyd Mayweather boxing super fight in 2017. The $50 million from the Khabib Nurmagomedov war in 2018. 13 UFC bouts that turned an unknown kid from a council estate into the highest paid combatant walking the earth. On top of that, endorsements from the likes of Beats by Dre, Monster Energy, and Burger King were pumping tens of millions into his pockets annually at his peak. But the real money, the generational empire-building, set-your-bloodline up forever kind of paper, that didn't come from the octagon. It came from a bottle. In 2018, McGregor launched proper No. 12 Irish whiskey, named after Dublin 12, the rough-and-tumble district that raised him, the same postcode where his pub sits, the same soil he'd bleed for. He didn't just slap his name on a label. He sourced the oldest and largest distillery in Ireland, hired out a section of it, and started making his own whiskey from scratch.
Proper No. 12, the smoothest Irish whiskey on the market, and my new forged Irish stout.
The brand moved like contraband, fast and heavy. It racked up $250 million in sales before McGregor and his partners flipped their majority stake to Proximo Spirits in 2021 for up to $600 million. McGregor's personal cut, an estimated $150 to $200 million pre-tax. One deal, more than every fight purse he ever earned combined. That's the kind of score most hustlers only dream about. But McGregor didn't just cash out and coast, he doubled down. He launched Forged Irish Stout, now distributed in over 20 countries. When reports surfaced about the stout posting losses in the millions, McGregor didn't flinch. He fired back, calling it not a loss, an investment. That's the mentality. You don't build empires by running scared every time a ledger goes red. Then came the power moves. In 2024, McGregor acquired a stake in Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, not as some silent investor whispering from the shadows, but as the big boss sitting ringside, promoting events, gifting his partners luxury watches, and running press conferences like a Don holding court. He also owns the Black Forge Inn, a gastro pub in Dublin 12, purchased for £1.7 million with another £868,000 poured into renovations. It's now what McGregor calls the world's most famous pub and the most followed pub on social media. The books have shown losses of €432,000 in 2022 and €1.13 million in 2021. But McGregor doesn't care. It's a community anchor, a tourist magnet, and a personal monument to the postcode that made him.
Very good, my man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
His BKFC events have been pulling serious numbers. A sold-out Knucklemania 6 in 2026, over 10,000 deep at the Prudential Center. McGregor isn't just watching the fight game anymore. He's running it from the other side of the table, and the portfolio doesn't stop there. In 2025, he co-founded MMA Incorporated, an American martial arts company that pulled in a $23 million investment from the Trump family in January 2026. He's got ownership stakes in Alta Global Group's fitness platform, SBG Gyms across Ireland, and endorsement deals with brands like Beats by Dre and Monster Energy that once pumped tens of millions into his accounts annually.
300 staff all in. I've got public houses. I've got construction efforts going on.
300 staff, public houses, breweries, construction projects. The kid from Crumlin didn't just escape poverty. He went back and started building houses on top of it. Literally. McGregor claims he's built roughly 300 social housing units and has plans for 1,000 more. Not for profit either. He told Carlson the margins are basically non-existent. He does it because the housing crisis in Ireland is personal to him. But make no mistake, this is still a man who stacks paper like it's a religion. His combined net worth with partner D. Devlin sits at roughly $200 to $220 million, and a potential UFC return fight against Michael Chandler could reportedly net him another $100 million, pushing him toward $1/3 billion. The hustle never stops, it just changes shape. When you run up a $250 million fortune, you don't park it under a mattress. You park it in mansions across 3 countries and a garage full of machines that most people only see in posters. McGregor's real estate portfolio spans Ireland, Spain, and the United States, valued collectively at over $6 million. And that's a conservative estimate that doesn't account for the appreciation these properties have seen since purchase. The crown jewel of his property game is a sprawling family mansion in Kildare, Ireland, purchased in 2019 for roughly £2 million from the son of a former Irish Prime Minister. We're talking 5,000 plus square feet, a custom-built gym, a pool, and expansive grounds fit for a man who once told the world he'd be king. Then there's the Mac Mansion, his Las Vegas fortress, a 12,000 square foot compound bought as a base camp for his UFC wars. When McGregor gave a tour back in 2015, you could already see the blueprint of a man who was going to live large or die trying.
Hello everybody, my name is the notorious Conor McGregor, and today I'm going to take you on a tour of the Mac Mansion.
That crib came loaded. Infinity pool, marble jacuzzi, garden golf course, and a game room designed for exactly the kind of chaos you'd expect from McGregor and his crew during fight week.
It just made sense to me. And plus, who doesn't want to live here throughout the summer with their teammates?
And when the Irish weather gets too grim, there's always Marbella. McGregor scooped up a holiday villa in Spain for £1.3 million in 2018. Tucked inside a gated community with Mediterranean views, a custom gym, an outdoor pool, and a spa. The man has a property for every mood. He even tried to go bigger. McGregor submitted plans for a proposed 33,000 square foot mega mansion in Strafford County, Kildare, complete with 2 basements, a cinema, a pool, and a full gym. The local planning authorities denied it. Apparently, even McGregor can't knock out every gatekeeper. Now let's talk about what's sitting in the driveway. McGregor's car collection is estimated at north of $15 million, and it reads like a wish list written by a man with zero interest in subtlety. The fleet includes a Lamborghini Aventador Roadster worth over $500,000, a Lamborghini Urus, the family SUV, gifted with a red bow in 2019, and a herd of Rolls-Royces that would make the British royal family feel underdressed. We're talking the Ghost, the Wraith, the Dawn, and the Phantom 8, 4 deep, all bespoke. One of them, the Ghost, carries a custom white wrap featuring his own likeness. That's a level of audacity that only McGregor can pull off without looking ridiculous. There's also a McLaren 650S in orange, multiple Ferraris, Bentleys, a fleet of 4 Range Rovers for the family, and, because apparently that's not enough, he put in a custom order in 2024 for a Bugatti Chiron worth $4 million. There's also a rare Lamborghini Countach LPI 800-4 worth roughly $2.6 million lurking somewhere in the collection. And more recently, he's been spotted riding around with a custom Mansory Rolls-Royce in a striking orange-black wrap valued at over $350,000. Because if you're McGregor, even your training camp needs a six-figure whip parked outside. He doesn't own a private jet, but don't let that fool you. The man moves through the sky like he owns every runway he touches. He charters luxury aircraft like the Embraer Lineage 1000, a $38 million plane that costs $18,000 an hour and comes equipped with 3D cinemas, spas, and beds. He brands every flight Mac Air on social media like it's his personal airline. When you're spending that kind of money to get from point A to point B, the distinction between owning and chartering starts to feel academic.
Handbrake, that fucking drifting around blade jets.
From the council estates of Crumlin to chartering jets across continents, that's the transformation. But the real toys, the ones that scream wealth louder than anything on four wheels, those live on the water, and that's where we're headed next. There are rich people, there are wealthy people, and then there's the breed of individual who drops $4 million on a yacht because he saw it and liked it. Conor McGregor is that breed. His crown jewel on the water is the Technomar for Lamborghini 63, a 63-foot, 4,000 horsepower missile that tops out at 70 miles per hour on open water. Only 63 of them were ever made. McGregor's is number 12, of course, matching his Dublin district. He was the first person on the planet to take delivery.
I have two yachts. I have a 120-foot triple-deck Sunseeker, a beautiful super yacht.
That's not a flex for the cameras. The man literally lives on it. A 120-foot triple-deck Sunseeker, his floating palace.
People don't know I have the big one, but I've got this magic one, which is the Lamborghini.
And then there's the Lamborghini, the rocket ship, the one he calls the supercar of the sea. Two twin-turbo, 2,000 brake horsepower engines. Combined, that's 4,000 brake horsepower of fury cutting through Mediterranean waves while McGregor stands at the helm, grinning like a man who broke every rule and won anyway.
To acquire the Lamborghini yacht, it was made by the Italian Sea Group in conjunction with Lamborghini.
The Lamborghini yacht alone cost $4 million, including $500,000 in customizations. The Sunseeker, that's another $3 million plus. Together, his yacht collection clocks in at over $7 million in floating assets. And when he wants to go even bigger, he charters super yachts like the Moonlight 2 at $780,000 a week.
It may have been an impulse buy at the time. I seen it, I put a down payment straight away.
An impulse buy, $4 million. That's the kind of sentence that separates the rich from the obscenely, grotesquely, unapologetically wealthy. Now, the ice. McGregor's watch and jewelry collection exceeds $4 million, and it's exactly the kind of collection you'd expect from a man who once rocked fake watches with pride until the real ones started rolling in.
You ever hear the term, you gotta fake it till you make it? You know, before anything, I was getting there.
That rawness is what makes it hit different. He wasn't born into any of this. He tells the story of how Lorenzo Fertitta, former UFC owner, gifted him his first real watch, a solid gold Rolex Sky Dweller, after a knockout win at UFC Dublin in 2013. Before that, he was wearing fakes to press conferences and driving what he called a broke-down banger, but in his head, it was a Ferrari. That's the mentality of a man who was always going to be rich. The bank account just needed time to catch up with the vision.
I have a broke down banger of a car, and in my head that was a Ferrari.
Now the collection includes a Jacob & Cumper's Astronomia Casino, worth $620,000, an Astronomia Tourbillon baguette in rose gold, a Patek Philippe Nautilus custom built for Irish jeweler Weir & Sons, one of only 25 made, multiple Rolex Daytonas, and Richard Mille timepieces that cost more than most people's houses. And through all of it, through the yachts and the supercars and the mansions and the ice and the private jets, McGregor still carries a religious chain his mother gave him.
Holy man, Catholic and Irish Catholic, and my mother.
That duality is the whole story. A man with a $250 million empire who still walks barefoot in the grass to ground himself. A man who charters $18,000 an hour jets, but built 300 houses for homeless families in Dublin. A man who impulse bought a Lamborghini yacht but names everything after the district that shaped him. When McGregor sat down with Tucker Carlson in 2025, he didn't just talk about money. He talked about what money means when you actually came from nothing.
Internal. I'm an Irishman. I love my country dearly. And
Yes.
nothing or no one could ever change that fact.
That's the bottom line. $250 million, properties on 3 continents, a garage worth more than a small town, yachts that move faster than sports cars, watches that cost more than apartments, and at the center of it all, a man from Dublin 12 who refused to accept the life he was handed and built one that the whole world can't stop watching. He once told the world he could walk into a burning house and see birds chirping. That borderline delusional belief, that insane, unshakable conviction that the universe owes you everything if you're willing to fight hard enough for it, is the engine behind every dollar, every property deed, every engine that roars in his garage. Whether he's running BKFC events at sold-out arenas, negotiating a potential $100 million UFC return, or building social housing for Irish families who can't afford a roof, the playbook hasn't changed since the days of the broke-down banger. Believe it before you see it. Fight like your life depends on it. And never, ever let anybody tell you what you can't have. That's Conor McGregor's $250 million life, and he's far from done stacking it.